Tropical Storm Ernesto forms an eastern Caribbean threat. Hot off the press, and the National Hurricane Center declares the formation of our newest tropical storm, Ernesto, in the Atlantic, about to reach the Lesser Antilles, the Leeward Islands in the Caribbean. It's 16.2 north, 57.1 degrees west. Currently a tropical storm. Recon found winds probably up to 50 miles per hour there, and a pressure of 1011 millibars, moving west-northwest, currently at 25 miles per hour. This is the latest as of 6 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time this August 12th. The storm's expected to gradually intensify as it moves through the islands and could become a hurricane just as it leaves and then heads towards the north. It should be a recurving storm. Well, here it is right now, only the one quadrant of wind out to 50 nautical miles on the northeastern side. That's what Recon got in their earlier passes, which prompted the tropical storm designation. Tropical storm warnings for a lot of places there: St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Antigua and Barbuda, Anguilla, many other locations in between there, all the way up to Puerto Rico, and obviously the British and US Virgin Islands as well. It is 428 kilometers from the closest point of land, which right now is Martinique, not under any warnings, 436 from Guadeloupe, 497 from Antigua, 979 from San Juan, and 1949 from Bermuda. Might sound a bit strange that we're putting Bermuda up there, but the storm is headed that way afterwards. So the primary hazard right now is really rainfall and the potential, of course, for flash flooding. Maximum rainfall amounts of up to 10 inches are possible, and so flash flooding could occur on some of those Caribbean islands. High rain rates could lead to flash flooding, of course, when all the rain comes down at once. That's when we have the biggest vulnerability, but of course prolonged rainfall over the whole period can also cause some flooding issues. Let's take a look at the forecast then for the next few days. So there it is, sweeping through the Leeward Islands, then on towards Puerto Rico, northwards by this point. By Wednesday, probably becoming a hurricane here on Thursday, then passing very close to Bermuda is what we've got in the extended forecast. Latest estimate has it turning a little bit away and then back towards the northeast again, and it remains to be seen whether it could be a threat to maybe the northeast United States, but especially Atlantic Canada. Still out in the open there. We're not sure what will happen. So decent agreement on the winds there. It is a low to mid-range tropical storm. National Hurricane Center starting it out slow at 40 miles per hour. ADT starting to increase as well, the satellite estimates. But of course Recon, they got flight level winds of 60 miles per hour, so you could definitely make an argument that the current winds are at 50. There's one of the National Hurricane Center's cones. That's the new experimental format that they're putting out right now. Thought I'd show that. Doesn't show anything in data terms different to the actual operational cone, and they forecast it to become a hurricane there, and they have it right over Bermuda by Saturday on that cone there, but they as you can see there, no hurricane watch, so they don't expect it to be a hurricane at any point whilst it's through the Caribbean. There it is on the GFS model, eventually reaching hurricane status, like I said, probably Thursday, and then starting to move almost due north, and then peeling off northeastwards towards the end there. GFS a little bit further north than what our forecast showed there for the 7-day period. There it is, really getting some strong winds and quite large wind field as it passes Puerto Rico. Eastern side's definitely going to have the strongest and the largest wind field again, passing very close to Bermuda there, and really powerful as on approach to Canada if that scenario was to happen. Here's the simulated reflectivity, some serious rainfall there for parts of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, but all of these islands could get very high amounts of rain, up to, like we said, 10 inches, which is 250 millimeters. Later on in that forecast there, if it does decide it might stall a little bit as it nears Bermuda, it looks like the steering currents get quite weak there, so there is the worry that it could go more slowly once it gets up there. Bermuda could get a lot of rainfall from this storm as well, first from that pretty exaggerated band there, and then from the core of the storm itself. Looking at rainfall expectations then in the next 7 days, these are the totals starting to spill over onto the map there. Those yellow zones, that's over 5 inches generally. and if you get into those red zones, well, that's above 10 inches. So a few areas getting quite a lot of rain on this forecast. Part of Guadeloupe there getting towards the 5-inch mark, southern Puerto Rico as well, and some areas out to sea getting close to 10 inches there, so it could be a close one. Looking further north, up to 16 inches of rain, very close to Bermuda, so that could still be a big risk up there. 400 millimeters. Quite clear to see the storm's path there on that swathe, and these are the sea surface temperatures. So I'll do the conversions for you. Around 27 to 28 degrees Celsius where the storm currently is. They'll actually rise a little bit as it gets into the eastern Caribbean region, and then they will stay pretty level when it moves northwards and will start to drop once the storm gets closer to Bermuda. But temperatures 27 to 28 degrees or higher all the way along its track there, with maximums 29, maybe even pushing close to 30 degrees near Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So visually, how does it look? Well, earlier it looked like it may have been struggling to get an actual defined center, but satellite imagery has certainly put that one to bed, really. The latest imagery showing that there is quite a clear center. It is moving quite quickly west-northwestwards, like we said at the beginning. 25 miles per hour is its current movement, which means it will be upon the islands very soon, within 24 hours. And this is some enhanced visible imagery there, just on those late visibles before it got dark there. Rotation a little bit slow as you look at this imagery, because it is still got a little bit of a way to go, and it looks like it could end up being quite broad, but it certainly looks like it's dealt with quite a few of those problems it was having when it was earlier on developing. Saharan dust, there was a lot of that around, dry air, could still be an issue and might make it a slow strengthening system, but certainly doesn't look like we're going to get anything like a pinhole eye forming in there or anything like that, and we might see some rapid intensification. It would be a big surprise if we saw anything like that. There it is on the water vapor imagery, just slow and gradual there, starting to get those cloud tops going a little bit more into the -70s in quite a few spots there, but they are fairly limited in size, and there's still a lot of gaps all around the storm there as we're watching. This is the radar just about to enter the view there as well, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more from where this came from. Ernesto is active and strengthening.